The OSI security model provides a standard architecture of security of the data for an organization. It is important to provide a well-defined and well-organized structure for the security, so that the organizations can decide upon the security measure in a planned manner and the chances of data breaching or any such security threats are minimized. We already know that the OSI model is a standard model for computer networking. This model provides the standards for communication between the devices by dividing the entire process of communication into a 7-layer model, and different protocols being used in the different layers. OSI security architecture focuses on these concepts. Security attack. A security attack means any action that puts the data or overall security of the system at risk. An attack might be successful or unsuccessful. In case of a successful attack, the attacker can complete his motive of breaking the security of the system in any way he wants to. In case of an unsuccessful attack, the system remains secured and no harm to the security is done. There are majorly two types of attacks: active attacks and passive attacks. Let's discuss them in detail. Passive attacks. Passive attacks in the OSI model are characterized by the attacker's intent to intercept or monitor data without altering it. Attack in which the attacker does not modify or corrupt the data. No changes are made to the data. These attacks are stealthy and often difficult to detect because they don't involve any alteration of the system's resources. In the OSI model, passive attacks can occur at various layers. Physical layer: eavesdropping on physical media, such as tapping into fiber optic cables or sniffing electromagnetic signals. Data link layer: MAC address spoofing and capturing frames to analyze network traffic. Network layer: traffic analysis to infer network structure and communication patterns, often through tools like packet sniffers. Transport layer: intercepting TCP or UDP segments to gather information about the communication endpoints and their data exchange patterns. Session, presentation, and application layers: these higher layers can be susceptible to passive attacks like session hijacking and cookie capturing, where attackers silently gather data without direct interaction with the systems. There are two types of passive attacks. Traffic analysis: this attack focuses on the amount or volume of data sent between the sender and the receiver. The attacker can predict a lot of information about the sender and the receiver by knowing the amount of data sent. For example, if a lot of data is being sent from the sender to the receiver, it is assumed as there is an emergency, or a task is happening on an urgent basis. If less data is shared between the sender and the receiver, it is assumed that there is a lack of communication and so on. Eavesdropping: in this kind of attack, the attacker reads the communication that happens between the sender and the receiver and then can use this information for many things. For instance, an attacker can use the information to know about the financial details of the user. Also, this can be used for criminal activities as the attacker can send a lot of personal information to a criminal. The difference between eavesdropping and traffic analysis is that in traffic analysis, the attacker does not even read the data. He is just focused on the volume of the data. Whereas on the other hand, in eavesdropping, the focus is on the actual data being exchanged between the sender and the receiver.